Okay. Good morning, my dear students, grade 11 students. Inshallah, we will start together a new lesson. Okay. It's talking about sum and difference identity. Sum and difference identity. If I make it like this to be clear. Okay. So we have here. This is the sum and different identities. This is the sum and difference identity. We have here the sum identities, and here in the other side the difference identity. It's very important. You will use it inshallah in the next year, and also in the first year for your faculty inshallah. Okay. The sum identities is talking about sine, the sum of two angles. Our two angles is named as A and B. Is named as A and B. Okay, so the sum of A and B, sine A plus B. Sine A plus B. Sine A plus B equals sine A cosine B plus cosine A sine B. Okay, so this is the first rule. So the first rule, sine the sum of two angles equals sine the first angle cosine the second angle, cosine the first angle sine the second angle. It means sine A plus B equal sine A cosine B plus cosine A sine. Okay, so this is the first rule. This is the first rule for addition. For subtraction, the same rule for sine, but it's subtraction, it's difference. The difference between the two angles. The first angle is A and the second angle is B. We make a difference between them. So sine A cosine B minus cosine A sine B. Okay, so it's like the first. It's like the first, but here, if the sign here is the plus, means we have the sum. Here also we have the sum. If the sign here is minus, the sign here also will be minus. Okay, so this is for sine. So the rule of sine of sum and difference is sine cosine cosine sine. Sine cosine cosine sine. So you can read it or understand it, study it by this form. Sine cosine cosine sine. It means sine the first angle, cosine the second angle, plus or minus according to the middle sign between the two angles, cosine the first angle, sine the second angle. This according to, or this if we talk about the sine. If I talk about cosine, cosine the sum of two angles. Cosine the sum of two angles. It's cosine cosine sine sine. Cosine cosine sine sine. It means cosine A plus B equal cosine A cosine B minus. It means if the angle, if the sign here is plus, it's opposite here. So it will be here minus. It will be here minus. Okay. So we have here cosine A cosine B minus sine A sine B. Okay. By the same way, if I go to the difference of two angles, okay, cosine A minus B means cosine cosine sine sine. Cosine A cosine B plus sine A sine B. This is for cosine. I'm going to the third rule for tan. I'm going to the third rule for tan. Tan A plus B. Tan A plus B is equal to tan A plus tan B. Tan A, it means you distribute tan among the first sign and the second sign over 1 minus tan A times tan B. Tan A times tan B. Again, the rule of tan, and here plus. So the here the numerator is plus also. So tan A plus tan B. 1 minus the product of tan A and tan B. In the other side, if we have minus, so it's tan A minus tan B. It means if you have minus here in the rule, it's minus also in the numerator, and over 1 plus tan A tan B. I can leave the rules to write it. Okay, it's a very important rule. you will use it in the next year, in the first year for any faculty, any practical faculty. Okay, if you talk about medicine, if you talk about engineering, if you talk about business, all this will talk about these important rules. It's called the sum and the difference identities or rules for sine, cosine, and tan. Okay, Khalid. Khalid. Okay, what's the problem, Khalid?
Mr. What's the name of the lesson?
The name of the lesson, sum and difference identities.
Okay, thank you.
This is lesson 3 in chapter 10. Okay, let's start our problems. Let's start our problems. Okay, we have here the first example. Find the exact value of sine 75. Find the exact value of sine 75. It's very easy. We can do it by using your calculator, or we can use the previous lessons. But also we can use this lesson. Okay, we can use this lesson. Okay, if we have a problem like this, you can use any way. But by the following or by this lesson, we can use this form. Pay attention with me. I'll write all the steps, and in the next example, you will help me. It's the same. Okay, the first step, use the formula of sine alpha plus beta. It means the sine of the sum, which is sine alpha plus cosine beta plus cosine alpha sine beta. It means the sine of the sum, sine, cosine, sine, as we said. Okay, where is alpha and beta? I have here 75. So 75, I'll distribute it in two of the two famous angles. We know the famous angles are 60 and 30 and 45. 30, 60, 45. We know sine 30 is equal to if we have 30 or 60 or 45, we know the answers. Sine 30 is half, cosine 30 is root 3 over 2, and sine 60 is root 3 over 2, cosine 60 is half, and so on. Sine 45 is 1 over root 2, or root 2 over root 2, or over 2, sorry. So it's famous angles. It's famous angles. So we need two of the famous angles, which is 45 and 30. If you make 45 plus 30 equal 75. So the next step, you just write sine 75 as sine 30 plus 45. You can start by 45, no problem, it's commutative. Okay, he substitute here by alpha as 30 and beta as 45. And then he distribute, or he write the rule 30 plus 45. It means the sine 30 cosine 45 plus cosine 30 sine 45. And this is the next step. Okay, so here he substitute by the rule of sine. Substitute by the rule of sine. Here famous angles. It means sine 30 equal half. Cosine 45, 1 over root 2, or root 2 over 2. Cosine 30 is root 3 over 2. Sine 45 is 1 over root 2, or root 2 over 2. So directly he gets the answer by multiplying, as we said. Half for sine 30 cosine 45 is root 2 over 2, plus cosine 30 is root 3 over 2 over root 2 over 2, and substitute, he gets the result, which is root 2 plus root 6 over 4 after cancellation and simplifying. I'll return back to the previous. If you need to write, okay, we have many ways to solve this problem. As I said, we can use your calculator directly, or you can use your rules, but here if I have one of non-famous angles, the famous angles, as I said, coming from the famous triangles. I have 30, 60 triangle. I have 45, 45, 90 triangle. So we know the sine and cosine and tan for these three angles, 30, 60, and 45. So we always relate the given angle to one of these three angles. Okay, let's go to the next example. Let's go to the next example. Here you can complete, I can complete this. It's root 2 over 4 plus root 6 over 4 by calculating. You have a common denominator, put 4 and add them to be root 2 plus root 6. Okay. We're going to the next example. The next example. Okay. Find the exact value of, find the exact value of cosine negative 75. Cosine negative 75. I'm going to Khalid Al-Harbi. Khalid.
Yes, Mr.
Okay. I need to find the cosine of this angle. I need to find the cosine of this angle. Okay. So we will use the difference. We'll use what? The rule.
The difference.
Yes, the difference of cosine. Can you state the rule? You wrote the rule?
Yes. The difference of cosine equal cosine bracket A minus B equal cosine A multiplied by cosine B plus sine A multiplied by sine B.
And this is our rule. So cosine of alpha minus beta equal cosine alpha cosine beta plus sine alpha sine beta. Now we will use two famous angles that give us negative 75. What minus what?
Negative 30 with the negative 45, but there is no angle with negative.
So we can use, pay attention, 60 minus 135. 135, it means we work in the second quad. We work in the second quad as 45. The measure, if the measure is 45 in the second quad, becomes 135. So the 180 minus 45, it gives you 135. So this angle, it means 60, okay, for the first angle. And this angle, it means 45, but in the second quad. How you get it? I get it from 180 minus
135.
Or 45 or 135. 45 to get 135. So these are your angles. So now we will complete. State the rule. Cosine 60 minus 135 will be?
Cosine?
Yes, cosine what?
60 minus 135, it will
Yes.
be equal.
The rule? Substitute in the rule.
Equal cosine 60.
Yes.
Multiplied by cosine 135.
Yes.
Plus sine 60 multiplied by sine 135.
Mumtaz. Okay, it's right now. It's right. So this is the substitution. Okay, we're going to calculate cosine 60 equal what?
Cosine 60
equal half, right?
Half?
Yes. It's equal to half. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, cosine 135. It means cosine 45. Cosine 45 is root 2 over 2.
Over 2.
But you work here in the second quad. In the second quad, cosine is negative. So
So
this
it's negative.
value will be negative. So if we substitute, it will be like this. Okay. Cosine 60 is half as you get it. Cosine 135 equal negative root 2 over 2 plus sine 60 is root 2 over 2. Root 3 over 2. And sine 135, it means sine 45. Sine 45 is root 2 over 2, and the sign is positive or negative in the second quad.
Positive.
So
Positive.
you have to write here as positive number as you see, and then after that you can simplify here. So I have here to add, we have a common denominator here, so becomes root 6 over 4. This is becomes root 6 over 4 plus this is becomes negative what, root 2 over
2 over 4.
yes, which
Yeah,
equal
because it's
to,
multiplied.
yes, which equal to approximately, yes, it's root 6 minus root 2 over 4. You have a common denominator. We put the positive number first, which is root 6 minus the second number. So this is the answer. This is the answer of the second problem. This is the answer of the second problem. Okay, we're going to the next one. I can return back if you need to write the whole steps. Okay, and then the next problem. Okay. Okay, I'm going to Hussein and Shahid Al-Harb. Hussein, what's the problem, Hussein?
Mister, why we in the previous problem used cosine a minus b, not a plus b, and make a is negative number.
A is negative what?
Number.
There is no problem. It's up to you. If you need to make it as A is a negative number and then plus, there is no problem. And you use the rule of the sum. It gave you the same answer. There is no problem.
Even if I change the cosine to sine and minus 90, 90 minus, and so on.
90 minus, no, you must use the same rule, because he said at the beginning of the problem, he said I need the cosine, so you need the value of cosine. There is no problem. If I have a negative angle, this angle, it means this angle in the fourth quad, so get the value of the angle and deal with the angle in the fourth quad. If you have cosine, it will be positive. If you have sine, it will be negative, because in the fourth quad, cosine is positive. So no problem about it. And you can check Hussein, and you will get, inshallah, the same answer.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
We're going to why? Okay, we're going to do and the next example. Okay. Find the exact value of sine 105. Hussein, can you help me in this?
Yes, Mister. Sine 105. So we put sine a plus b.
Yes, the rule of the sum. Okay, so sine A plus B. What is A and what is B? I need 105.
Okay. Can I make
Mm.
90
No,
and
no. Nah, 60, 30, 45. This is the famous numbers that we can relate to them. 60 plus.
okay. 60 plus 45.
Excellent. So sine 60 plus 45. So sine open bracket 60 plus 45. It gave me sine 105. So we can work. Can you give me the rule directly?
Okay. Sine 60.
Yes, sine 60.
Cosine 45.
Cosine 45.
Minus ولا plus?
Plus. Sine is the same. Cosine is different. If you have here plus, it will be minus. It will have minus in the cosine, but sine the same. So we have here plus.
Sine the same sign.
Yeah, cosine
Cosine 60
60.
and sine
Yes.
45.
And here sine
45.
45. Okay.
Okay, sine equals root 3 over 2.
Yes, root 3
Over
over
2.
2 multiplied by cosine 45.
Why?
Root 2 over 2.
صح. Okay.
Plus cosine 45, sine 45 equal. So both of them is root 2 over 2.
Okay, cosine 60 is root 3 over 2 bad.
Cosine 60 is half.
لا 1 over 2, 1 over 2.
Yes, is half multiplied by
root 2 over
root 2 over 2 or 1 over root 2 and get after that the result.
Can we take common factor?
You can take common factor, there is no problem. Root 2 over 2.
Yes. No. Root 2 over 2 multiplied by root 3 over 2 plus 1 over 2. Make it the same fraction and add 1.
Yes.
Directly.
Okay, there is no problem. I can now root 2 over 2 multiplied by
root 3 plus 1 over 2.
yes.
So it will be root 6 plus root 2 over 4.
So down you get 4. If you multiply, it will be root 6 plus root 2 over 4, which equal to letter
A.
Letter A. Okay. I'm going to the next example, but I'm just wait for just 20 seconds if you need to write the answer. Okay, I'm going to the next example. Khalid. Khalid Manif. I think you have a problem in your mic. Okay, I'm going to Walid.
I don't understand to answer the questions.
There is no problem, Walid. You will understand if you try with me. Pay attention. Yalla, Walid.
Okay.
Walid, did you write the rules at the beginning?
I don't know. No, I didn't.
Okay, I have here cosine. cosine, I have two rules for cosine. I have two rules for cosine. I can return to the first page, okay, to get here. Okay, الوليد. This is the rules, الوليد. This is
The
the
screen
rules.
is black.
It's black. Okay, I'm going to share it now. Walid, you see the rules?
I can see it. Yes.
You see the rules?
Yes.
Okay, so we have cosine. Can you say the rule of cosine? Cosine A plus B?
Cosine A plus B equals cosine A multiplied by cosine B minus sine A multiplied by sine B.
Yes. The rules of cosine, but in difference.
Cosine A minus B equals cosine A multiplied by cosine B plus sine A multiplied by sine B.
Okay, Walid, we have three famous angles. The three famous angles are 30, 60,
60,
and 45. So
90.
we always
45.
relate the given angles to one or two of these angles. Okay, 45 in the second quad will be 135, for example. Okay, and 30 in the second quad will be 150 because 180 minus. Okay, 180 minus 60 in the second quad will be 120. Okay, and so on. Okay, so we always relate the given angle to 30, 60, 45, or to their corresponding angles in the second, the third, or the fourth quad. Let's start our problem with you, okay? And we need to use, we will use one, the sum or the difference. It's up to you. As Hussein said, I can use, or Khalid said, Khalid use the difference, and Hussein want to put the negative angle at the beginning, and then he make plus. So there is no problem about this or this. Okay, let's go directly to our problem. So I can now reach our problem 100. Yes, this problem. So I have here, this is my problem. Okay, cosine 100, sorry, negative 120 will be
Cosine A minus B.
cosine A plus B
Minus.
minus B. Okay, so you use cosine A minus B. There is no problem. Okay, about it. Top. What is your two angles?
So I can choose any.
Yes, you can choose two of the famous angles.
Okay, cosine 30 multiplied by cosine 60.
30.
Plus
Huh?
plus sine 45 and sine 60.
60 plus 45 is 105, not 120. Top. Let's
Okay,
start.
so I get 100.
We get what? Huh?
So okay, sine 60 plus sine, I mean multiplied.
No, you add or you make plus. I need the result to be negative 120.
Negative. Okay.
Negative
Then shouldn't
120.
it be cosine A plus B?
Uh,
So it becomes cosine A and cosine B minus sine A and sine B.
yes, there is no problem. There is no problem. But now I need here to use the rule, and the result of the two angles will be negative 120.
Okay. Then cosine A minus B. Cosine A is 60 plus cosine A is 60 and cosine B is 30. And
30.
sine A is, yes,
But this
minus sine A
huh?
minus sine
don't
A.
leave now the rule. Leave الوليد, leave now
Okay.
the rule. I'm going to for example Khalid al-Manif, and wait with me al-Walid. Khalid,
Okay.
Khalid, Khalid, Khalid has a problem with his mic. Okay, طب I'm going to I'll unmute all. Any one of you have a hint for negative 120?
60 and 60
What?
or negative.
can be 60 and 60.
60 and 60, but it will be negative 60 plus negative 60.
Yes.
150 و 30.
150.
50 و
Excellent,
30.
excellent, Hussein. And this is right, and also what Khalid said is right. Okay, so I can use this one. Okay, so I write here cosine, okay, 100 sorry 30 first minus 150, as Hussein said. It gave me 120 by negative. So now I can use the rule of cosine. Thanks. I return back to Al-Walid. Walid, the rule is now on the previous angles, or on the actual angles. Can you give me the rule now? يلا,
Okay.
cosine equal what?
Cosine A.
Cosine, sine,
Cosine
sine.
A.
So cosine A, it means cosine 30.
Yes, and cosine B is 150, right? Or
Cosine 150, yes. This is minus.
minus
So becomes here
plus.
excellent. And then sine
Sine 30
30
multiplied by sine 150.
150. We get the result now, and then we get the answer. Okay, cosine 30.
I don't have a calculator with me.
Okay, you must know them. They are famous. So root 3 over 2. Okay, this is cosine
Okay.
30 multiplied by cosine 150. 150. It means cosine 30 also, but in the second quad. Okay, but in the second
So
quad.
negative.
So it's negative.
Reciprocal.
So
No, okay.
the same number, but it's with negative sign, as you said, because we work in the second
Okay.
quad. In the second quad, cosine is negative, so it's negative root 3 over 2.
Over
Okay,
2.
plus sine 30. Sine 30 is half.
Is the same, root 3 over 2.
No. Sine 30 is half. Okay.
Oh, yes, different, right?
And sine 150 is half also. And the sign in the second quad is positive. Now we will add.
Okay.
Multiply here. So it's 4, and here 1. It's very easy.
1.
And here will be 4, and here root 3 times root 3.
Root 9, so negative 3.
It's negative 3. So the result will be negative 3. Now you can get the result. This is 4, and up will be negative 2. So it will be
Negative half.
negative half. The result is negative half. So the result is letter
D.
the result is letter D. You understand?
Yes.
So
Thank
as
you.
Khalid said, or as Hussein said, we want to get negative 120. Khalid said, I can make cosine negative 60 plus negative 60. It's right. But Hussein said it's 30 minus 150. Excellent for both of them. Okay. And we substitute by the values. And then after that, we get the result. This is, I think, I have another example. And we have here only 5 students. We have, okay. Okay. So we have here, this is our answer. This is our answer. I'm going to the next example. I'm going to the next example. Okay. Okay. It's a word problem. It's a word problem. Okay. As you see, but I think there is no time for this. But just, I'm going to Abdullah Al-Eid. Abdullah,
Yes.
can you read the example quickly, please?
طيب. A distance. A geologist measures the angle between one side of rectangular lot and the line from her position to the opposite corner of the lot as 30 degrees. She then measures the angle between the line and the line to the point on the property where a river crosses as 45 degrees. If Z represents the distance between the upper left corner of the property and the point where the river crosses the top boundary, then tan 15 degrees equals Z over 50, or tan 45 degrees minus 30 equals Z over 50. Use the identify for
Yes, the
tan
identity
A minus
for
B.
tan A minus B to find the exact value of Z. So in this problem, he gave us the answer. This is the answer. So I need to solve this. I need only to solve this to find the value of Z. To find the value of Z by using the rule of 10. By using the rule of 10. Let's go to the answer. Let's go to the answer. Pay attention with me. In this problem, ask me about the distance between the upper left corner and the property of the line drawn along the river bank. So I need to find the value of Z. Pay attention, solve Z. It means find the value of Z. This is our equation. 1045 minus 1030. 1045 minus 1030. Can you give me the rule, Khalid Al-Harbi? 1045 minus 1030.
Yes, Mister. For the tan, the difference, right?
Yes, the difference.
It will be equal tan A minus tan B over 1 plus tan A plus tan B.
So it will be 1045 minus 1030 over 1 plus 1045 times 1030. So this
Times
is the
or
result.
plus?
Yes, 1045 minus 1030 over 1 plus 1045 times 1030 equals Z over 50. Okay, I need to find the value of Z, so I go by completing the equation. So he get the value. He get the value. How you get the value? Pay attention. I return back. 1045 equal what? Huh? 1045. It will be 1. 1045, it will be 1. If you calculate it, it will be 1. And 1030 will be 1 over root 3. Or root 3 over root 3. It's the same. Over 1 plus 10 45 equal 1, 10 30 equal 1 over root 3, it's equal to z over 50. By using cross multiplication, you can get z equals to this value. By simplifying, you get the value of z, which equal 1 minus 50 root 3. Or you can get it by using your calculator directly. There is no problem. Okay, this is our answer. This is our answer for this example. Okay, inshallah, you will find a small electronic homework consists of 5 items. Please try to finish it. Try to finish it. It's a very small homework talking about only the rules and only one problem. So please try to finish it. Thanks for your attendance, my good students, excellent students. I have only about 5 or 6 students.